something you've never heard that will blow your mind. Once upon a time, I'll tell you stories from Africa. Fun enough to make you laugh. Bright enough to light your day. Super lessons you learn from it, and it makes you go.
So, Isabella, do you like honey?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Have you seen a bee before?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Do you know that bees make honey?
Yes.
Tell me more.
Bees can make any honey they move for their own.
Yes, they are very, very hardworking.
And they can sting anyone.
Yes, they can. They can sting anyone. You're very, very correct. Hello, children. Welcome to Grandma Wura's Story Hut, where my stories give you wings and fly you on an African adventure. Today's story is titled Ashabi the Bee. Now, in the bee colony, Ashabi the Bee was often laughed at. Do you want to know why she was often laughed at? Everyone always laughed at her. You know why? Because she was very chubby and she had very tiny wings. And because she had very tiny wings, she was quite heavy. But there was something very special about Ashabi the Bee. She took her time to make sure that every assignment that she was given, she did it excellently well. She did it what?
Excellently well.
Excellently well. She did it excellently well. And she would take her time and she would make sure she dotted her I's and crossed her T's. But because she was so excellent and particular and detailed about everything that she did, it made her not to be as fast as the other bees, who were so fast at their jobs, at their assignments, and they would do everything they needed to do within the twinkle of an eye. And because of that, they delivered faster and they delivered more. Then, there came a time when Amoke, who was the queen maker, she was the oldest and she was the queen maker, it was time for her to actually hand over to someone else who would actually be the queen maker, and she was looking for that one bee that would be able to do things well, that would be able to do things
Well.
very well. And she found in Ashabi that Ashabi did things very well. And she began to consider that maybe Ashabi should be the next queen maker, but not without a test. And so she decided that she was going to be fair to everyone, and she would allow all the worker bees to go through the same test. You know what the test was?
Yes.
I will tell you what the test was. So she decided she was going to throw a beauty pageant, a beauty competition where everyone would dress up the way you dressed up, and they will come to the beauty pageant and the best dressed would be picked. So when everybody was told there was going to be an event, there was going to be a beauty pageant, a fashion event, everybody was excited. It was the first of its kind. But they were all meant to wear the same material, the same fabric, which the Yoruba people call Ashoebi. What did I say?
Ashabi.
Ashoebi. That is when you wear the same kind of fabric, you wear the same kind of fabric. It might be different styles, but we would all come gorgeously dressed to an event. And so they all were meant to wear the Ashabi. So this fabric that everyone was meant to wear, all the bees, they were sent their own material to sew whatever it is they wanted to wear, and the best dressed would be picked. Now, when people got the Ashabi, they were disappointed. Do you know why they were disappointed? Do you want me to tell you why they were disappointed?
Yes.
Yes. They were disappointed because the Ashabi was just a tiny piece of cloth that they couldn't use to really do anything. Some found it very laughable. They laughed when they got it. They thought it was a joke. Some got irritated, some got angry, some didn't even care. When Ashabi got her own Ashabi, you know how Ashabi likes to do things very well. Excellently well. She loves to do things. She loves to look for the solutions around whatever problem she's faced with, because she always believed there is a way around anything, any problem. So when she got her own piece of cloth, do you know what she did? She decided, I'm going to tell you, she decided she was going to make the most beautiful attire with that tiny piece of cloth. On the day of the event, everybody came. Come and see what people had on. Some had the piece of cloth tied to their necks like a rag. Some just tied it around their abdomen. Some just stuck it somewhere on their legs. You know, they just did all sorts of things around with it. And guess what? Amoke was there watching. The Council of Chiefs were there watching. Remember, it was a test. They wanted to see how everyone was going to manage that material. But lo and behold, when Ashabi walked into the event, everybody, she had her gele tied like this. She had taken that piece of fabric and she had blended it in with some petals. She had put all the colors of fabric around it. She had made a beautiful apparel with a tiny piece of cloth. And when she came in, it looked like that was not the same Ashabi everybody had been given. She was creative about it. And everybody was looking at her as she walked. She looked beautiful. She looked what? Beautiful, like you. Who do you think won the competition?
Ashabi.
Beautiful! Ashabi won the competition because she was gorgeously dressed and she had decided to dress properly for the occasion. Now, it was time for Amoke to make the last announcement, along with the Council of Chiefs. Then she said to everyone, I have been looking for who I will hand over to that will be the next in line to being the next queen maker. And today, we have found a bee that does things well, that puts thoughts into everything that she does. She is creative, she is dynamic, she is amazing, and she follows instructions. And when it was time to call who this queen maker was, who do you think was called?
Ashabi.
Ashabi was called. Ashabi was called. And all the bees realized that this was a test. Amoke told them that this was a test. She wanted to see what the bees would do. And Ashabi excelled amongst all the bees. And as a matter of fact, as a result of that, she was crowned the new queen maker. The other bees were very sad. They were ashamed of themselves. They wished they had put more thought into the instructions that they were given, because it was just a test and they had failed. The end. Did you enjoy my story?
Yes.
I hope you learned a thing or two from that story. But not to worry, there will always be one more story for another day. Until we come your way again on the Grandma Wura's Story Heart. This is Grandma Wura and Bella saying, bye-bye. Now, Isabella, you want to tell me what you learned from that story?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me, did you learn that you should always try to look beautiful?
Yes.
Did you learn that whatever it is that you do, you should do it well?
Yes.
Excellently
Well.
Fantastic. Put it there. Yes. Good. Today, on the Grandma Wura's Story Heart, we learned that it is important to do things excellently well for the purpose of achieving great results. We also learned that there is always a solution to every challenge if we think through it. Discuss more of the other lessons you learned today with your parents or guardians. You can reach me at Grandma Wura on Facebook and Instagram with the supervision of an adult. Also visit www.proudafricanroots.com to get your own copy of the Grandma Wura Story Heart ebook.
Tell you something you've never heard and will blow your mind. Once upon a time, I'll tell you stories from Africa. Fun enough to make you laugh. Bright enough to light your day. Super lessons you learn from it, and it makes you go